Hello again. Whenever somebody objects to the inexorable rise in immigration to this country, that person is sure to be told that this is essential for the nation's well-being and prosperity. The birth rate is too low to maintain a stable population, and if we wish the population to remain steady or grow, then the only way of achieving this is by inviting immigrants into our country. There are several points to consider about this argument. The first is that birth rates have risen and fallen all the time during British history. They often work on a boom and bust cycle, like the economy. True, there was a boom in babies in the 15 years following the end of the Second World War, but before that, the birth rate had been falling. To maintain a stable population, the fertility rate needs to be 2, and at the moment it is just 1.4. This is not as scary as it might seem, nor is it unusual. In 1938, the fertility rate was about 1.75. And guess what? That was also the fertility rate in 2015. There has been no catastrophic decline lately. It's well within the normal range for the last century or so. Nobody in 1938 was panicking about this, though, and nor was it being suggested that because the birth rate was falling, we should have to import millions of people from Africa and Asia. Then too, so what if the population did fall? At the moment, there's something like 70 million people living here, but in 1950 there were 50 million, and in 1900 around 38 million. Why actually does the population need to be this large, let alone increase? Why does it even need to remain stable? What would be wrong with having fewer people living in Britain? Suppose the population fell to what it had been in 1900. Suppose it fell to 38 million. Would that be a bad thing? True, the proportion of old people might increase, but with the coming automation and the power of AI, this will mean that fewer young and active workers will be needed for things like food production or transport. They could instead be looking after the elderly. I honestly don't see why a lower population and lower birth rate would be such a disaster. When thought of like this, the popular argument in favour of rising immigration starts to look distinctly threadbare. How many viewers would object to having a lower population coupled with a drastic reduction in immigration?